going to actually go ahead and mute again. Here we go. There we go. Um, Al and I connected a little more than 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, and he was ready to make some massive changes in his health. And it was absolutely these last 2.5 years have been a joy and a delight as I've been walking alongside one of the most humble and willing and hardworking men in his journey as he's been working on his health. Um, I'm a mother of 7 children from Highland, Utah, and I have loved this path of coaching, and we're going to talk a little bit about what that looks like. Al became a coach. What was it, Al? Just like 3 months or 4 months into your journey, or maybe even 6 months into your journey?
Probably 6 months.
So he became a coach right away, simply because he saw the value of this and the community and what it means to pay it forward and walk alongside others. And in this journey, he's impacted hundreds, if not thousands, of people in his health journey. And so I would love to turn the time over, Al, to have him share. So Al, tell us the whole story. How did this all start? How did it all turn around? And tell us a few of these amazing wins you've been experiencing.
Well, first of all, thanks for everybody that got on here. So I worked hard inviting people, so I'm glad some of you showed up, and it means a lot that you're here to listen to what I have to say. But maybe to start off, just so you know a little bit, I'm going to break this down a little bit, but to start off, when I started this program, and I didn't start it because of COVID, but I started it right when COVID hit. I mean, I started basically the week that they shut us all down and put us in lockdown. And I was so grateful because you know what COVID does to people. I had all those risk factors. And so I was glad I started my journey, but I was over 500 pounds, and I know that seems crazy. How does somebody get there? You wake up one day and there you are. I could see myself getting there, and I knew I needed to do something. But anyway, so far, I've been on. Well, I started at the end of March of 2020, and so far I've lost 285 pounds. But so I've had a lot of success, and my life has completely changed. Some of this that I'm going to share, I never thought it would ever happen. I was basically kind of in a situation in my life where I was facing, I knew it was coming, and even before I had like diabetes and stuff, I was like, man, if I don't change my lifestyle, I'm going to have diabetes someday. If I don't change, I'm going to end up in the hospital with a heart attack. But still, you would think that would like make me do something, but it didn't. And so I knew too that, it's crazy to think every Christmas with my family, I wondered if it would be like, is this my last Christmas with my family? That's not a fun thought to have. And I always thought, you know what, if I died, at least I don't have this pain that I'm dealing with my body. But I certainly didn't want to leave my family behind. I mean, my family needs me. I have my wife and my daughter both have type 1 diabetes. My daughter she's on the spectrum, and then my son, he needs some help here and then, but he's doing a great job in his life and making decisions. But if I'm not around to influence him, then what's the whole purpose? And so I knew I had to do something. And honestly, my wife and I would talk about it. We prayed and prayed that I would be led in the right direction to change, because I would try to work on health, like working on diet, and I could be good for like a couple days, and then I would just slip right back into bad habits. And then you're like, oh well, what's the point? And then, I just I knew what healthy was. I mean, I have a job where I work with people with disabilities, and we constantly are like concerned about health and safety. And I knew what it took, but doing it was a whole nother thing. And the crazy thing is because I had so many medical issues, I was constantly visiting my doctor. Plus, I had severe back pain, and I'd go see a specialist, and no one would help me. And I thought, why can't I go to a doctor and get some help? And look, some of that's on me, right? I mean, I got to do it for myself, but no one. And I met with nutritionists, but they just told me how to eat healthy and what it was. And I'm like, I can figure it that I could Google that, but it wasn't helping me. And I needed something more. I needed something that was gonna really make an impact in my life. And my doctor told me, you need to make drastic changes. Um, he said that you become a vegetarian or something. He wasn't telling me that that's what I had to do. He just said, make a drastic change. The thing is I wasn't eligible to have weight loss surgery. I was too big. And so I would have had to lose weight to get down there. And anyway, I had all these problems. So I started the program, and there was something that I believed about myself, that if I saw something was working for me and that I was having success, I feel like I'm the type of person, then I take it seriously. And then I'm going to do something. I just needed to have some success. And what it started out for me was the nutrition plan was so easy to follow. I didn't have to think about it. The meals were easy. And at the same time, I was making a meal a day that was a healthy meal, and learning what healthy was, learning how to shop healthy, learning how to find out what I liked that was healthy, and adjusting. And it just all of a sudden, like the first month, I was down 28 pounds. And from there, it just continued to roll. So maybe let me share. So that's what got it started. And I don't think I would have ever changed if it wasn't for this program. And I know there's lots of different things out there for people to use, but this is what was meant for me. I know that I was inspired to find it. And but anyway, I one of the things I was really concerned about is my son was going to graduate from high school. And I was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Because if they have it in the gym, I have to walk in the high school. High schools are pretty big, and that's a long ways to walk. And then what do I do when I get in there? I probably can't fit in those chairs in the gym, in the auditorium. And I was like, I want to make it to his graduation. So that was one of my big whys. I mean, I honestly, I could probably tell you guys, I had 1,000 whys, and I've had to adjust as time goes on, but that was good just to start with. And I also thought, gosh, I was getting to a point that I'd get in the vehicle and it was too tight in there. I mean, if I hit the brakes on my car, I could honk the horn in my car. So anyway, I can laugh about it now, right? I mean, but anyway, but it was uncomfortable to travel even like 20 minutes somewhere because I didn't have any room to move. Plus, I had severe back pain, and I was miserable. And anyway, things just started improving for me. And one of the things that really helped me, well, Joe, she introduced herself. She was my coach. And one day she challenged me because I couldn't stand if I stood for 2 minutes, I was in pain. And everything I did in life, no matter where I went, like if we went to the store, like for my job, I would have to park somewhere and just go into a building. I used to carry a tripod chair with me so that I could walk and sit down. At least I had a place to sit down and talk to my clients because I couldn't stand there. But Joe challenged me to start standing for 2 minutes a day, up to an hour a day. And I just started building. I started doing that. I took it seriously. I did it. I did it every day. I worked on an hour. It was hard. Eventually what happened was I started moving a little bit more. I finally swept the kitchen floor. And I have this weird thing. I don't know. I love to clean because I like what it's like when the house is clean. You feel like you accomplished something for the day. And so I like the house clean. And I like doing that. And to be able to do that stuff again meant a lot. To clean the dishes, sweep the floor, whatever it was. It just meant a lot to me. And then so I just started moving around the house doing that kind of stuff. And then I decided I'm going to go talk to my doctor because I thought I can't go out walking anywhere. And I thought if I could get a prescription from him to get a walker with a seat on it, I could start walking the neighborhood. So my wife and I got it, and my wife and I would start walking, and I would go as far as I could, and then I'd sit down for a minute or two, and then get up and start walking. And all of a sudden, I don't know where it happened, but one day, guess what? I was just moving easier. Okay, I still couldn't walk long distances. But all this momentum, the little baby steps has turned into me where in January, I wanted to do a 5K, walk a 5K. And because it was important enough to me, because I used to walk out to my vehicle and be out of breath. And I thought, if I can walk a 5K, that means my life has changed, because I can walk 3 miles, and that means I can go do anything I want. And so I started training for it in January. I was just doing a mile, and then I started doing 30 minutes, and then I was doing a little bit more, and then I was upping my speed, so I was getting more time in. And basically I just kept on working on it. And in July, I did my first 5K, and it meant a lot to do that. And now I've done 3 of them since then. Howard and Janet, who are here, they walked with me on one on Saturday, and we got our time under an hour. So, and I sometimes I say I'm just walking, I'm not running, but I've always said, get that word "just" out of your head, because the fact that look where I've come from. So that's been a huge victory in my life. The other one is just my diabetes. And because I never had control of my blood sugars. My A1C was up in the 11s. After I was on program for 3 months, it dropped down to 5.7. And I was like, oh my gosh, there's something to this. I'm doing something that's changing my life. And I just kept on sticking to it, dropping weight, doing better. And then one day I went to the doctor, my A1C was 5. And I thought, and I had talked to Joe about this already, because I was at a certain point where I was like, I'm taking all this insulin and my blood sugars are going down, and I'm starting to experience maybe some lower blood sugars. At what point do I need this, or do I need to cut back? So I talked to my doctor. He said, let's take you off and see what happens. He says, if they're not working, get back in and we'll adjust. Well, I haven't been back on insulin since that day, and no diabetic medications. In fact, I don't even test my blood sugar anymore, because I know if I'm eating healthy and doing what there's just I'm fine. And I feel good. Those are like two major victories I've had in my life, but there's tons of little things that happen. Like my father-in-law, John, mentioned going to Yellowstone. I mean, when I went on vacation with my family, typically I would just sometimes stay in the hotel but I let them, I'd be like, you guys go do your thing, because I wanted my kids to have experience and didn't want to hold them back because I couldn't do it. And but I've just go in place. I can go do what I want now. I have freedom in my life. I don't even think it's crazy, because when you're obese, your whole world starts to you're making adjustments in your world to live in it with obesity. And I'm talking about seatbelt extenders, thinking about, do I have to move my seat back in the car? Like, do I have to have somebody come in and extend it so I have more room? Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to drive. A shower chair, bigger chairs in your home, bigger clothes, all those stuff. Just you want to. It's expensive, and I even saw like this shower where it's a walk-in shower. I thought, oh, I'm going to probably need one of those someday. And I think about that now, and I think my whole world was adjusting to just letting me be obese without changing anything. And now that I'm changing it, I just have freedom to do what I want. I can go, one embarrassing moment I had in life was I took my kids to the trampoline place. And when we came out, and they were littler, we came out, somebody parked right next to my car. I couldn't get in. There's just not enough room. So I had to wait for the person to come out. Luckily, some lady came out with her kids. She was fairly small. And I said, hey, could you do me a favor? Could you get in my car and just back it up? Because I cannot get in there. And she did. But, those are embarrassing moments to have. And sometimes going places, people are always staring at you, and I don't know if that's just if they were really looking at me because of the way I was, or that's how I felt about myself too. And I don't care anymore. I don't think people look at me like that anymore. But if they did, if some kid told me I was fat, like I used to hear all the time, now it wouldn't bug me, because I know I'm working my butt off to get healthy. I don't think that's going to happen, because I mean, I'm still working at this and still have 60 pounds. But anyway, I just want to say that Joe's going to talk about some things that are in the program, and all these are really important. I have been blown away by some of the stuff I have seen in this program. When we've had, this is there's a lot of people that do this, and that we have leaders that are amazing. And when I hear, like we have convention, they had convention in Atlanta, and you hear the people talking, you'd be blown away, because we're not talking about nutrition. We're talking about how to become a better version of you and how to develop yourself, because all those things affect you in your life. We work on mindset. Nutrition is one thing, but it's not the key. Anyway, but Joe has really helped me, and I think everybody has to have somebody to be accountable to. And one thing I've always done with her is I always set my weekly meetings with her. I don't ignore, if I've had a bad week and I've gone off plan and haven't done what I need to, I still set up, and I'm honest with her. I tell her what's going on, because it's not about Joe. I'm not trying to make her happy. This is about me, and I'm making myself accountable for it. Anyway, thanks guys for listening to my story.
Oh my goodness.
Talking
Al,
to
thank
you.
you so much. Can everyone just pop into the chat with some words of encouragement if you know how to use the chat? That's kind of a feature that some people don't know how to use, but if you can pop in there with some words of encouragement for Al. I know that each one of you are probably just like me, grinning from ear to ear. And what you just heard was the heart of what we do. And part of what I want to do today is share with you exactly what Al does as a coach, because this gift is too big of a gift not to give away to everyone who needs it, because there are people in your worlds. Each and every one of you interact with people who need this. And if you are in tune and know what it is, you will know exactly what to say. You will know exactly how to direct them towards Al so that Al can serve them really well. Al is one of my absolute best coaches. He is extremely empathetic, compassionate, and he partners with people. And so I'm going to share with you just a couple of things so that you know where to go from here. And I'm going to go ahead and hit mute all just to get that so we don't have any background noise. Okay. I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to start this off with, oh, there we go. I'm going to start this off with just some pictures, and these visuals are so powerful when you take a look and see, wow, see where Al was and where he's come, how far he's come. And one of the things I love about this picture with the sugar is Al's face. That sugar represents all the weight that he has lost so far. And his face is just like, what? It's incredible. And you can see, and I love the face-to-face side by side, because you can see how much light and life is in his face now, how much energy he feels and how much living he has in his life. So just so inspiring to see. I'm going to take a minute and just share with you how we do this. This is an incredible program, and it's actually a behavioral change program. And the reason I say that is because there's a lot out there that will be pointing to, oh, do this special thing with your nutrition, eat this way, exercise that way. And those are very outward focused things. What we do is we really focus on the inside. We recognize that those outward actions, while they're going to help, they're not going to actually change the person and transform them into a healthy version of themselves. And so just like what Al was saying, we're going to be tapping into a lot of different components. These 4 components are the magic recipe for success. Every client in our program has a coach. And I put Al's picture here because each one of you, you know Al personally. And if you have a friend, a neighbor, a family member who needs help, Al's the person you're going to connect them to. Al is an incredible coach. He knows all the processes. The second component is our community. We have an incredible supportive community. We come together in person. We come together on webinars. We support one another. And just like Al said, we're not just talking nutrition all the time. We're actually helping people to become the dominant force in their life. And that's something that you don't do alone. You do it in community. So we have Facebook group, we have call centers with registered dietitians on hand. We have webinars each week. So we have a lot going on in the community aspect. Education is key. So we have a textbook and a guided journal. And that component is actually vital to the coaching process. When I'm working with a client, and I know this is true for Al as well, we're working with them through the books. They're working through it. Why? Because that's the internal change that's going to occur for them in order for them to really accomplish their long-term goals. And yes, we do have nutritional programs, and that's also very important. We're going to make sure that we're matching a nutritional program for the needs of our clients. Not everybody's created the same. So we need to individualize. And so having that really, that first conversation is vital. So we know exactly where they are in their life. Who do we help? I put this little collage together because we help everyone. We help young people. We help older people. We help men. We help women. We help people who want to gain weight, people who want to lose weight. We help athletes. We help people who are type 1, type 2 diabetes. We help people with gout. We help people who, a nursing mother or post-menopausal. We help all different kinds in every different walk of life. And so, as you're thinking through the people in your life, you're going to find that there are people in these categories that you think, wow, I wonder if this program could be a benefit to them. And that's your opportunity to speak up. So I'm going to share with you how you can help. How can you help? Number one, pay attention to the needs of those around you. Like I said, you're going to have friends, family, neighbors who have these moments. I call them teachable moments, moments where they just they got home from the doctor, they found out they're type 2 diabetes. They are so frustrated, or they have a wedding coming up and they know they need to lose 30 pounds and they want to do it before the wedding. Or, you have these different situations that are teachable moments. Pay attention to those, because that's your moment to say, I know an amazing coach who can help. That's all you have to say. I know an amazing coach who can help you. And then introduce them in a 3-way text to Al. And you know what Al's going to do? He's going to say, nice to meet you. I'm looking forward to hearing more about what your goals are. He's going to set up a time to chat with them. And then he's going to send his online health evaluation form for them to fill out before the call. So simple. And that's going to help him to know what to focus on the call. So it's such a simple process. Just paying attention, looking around you. There's going to be people who need this. And then just being willing to chime in and say, I know somebody. He's an amazing coach. He himself lost 285 pounds. And I'd love to introduce you to him. He's an active coach, and put him in a 3-way text. So just wanted to kind of share how that looks and how you can help, because here's the thing. There are people in this world who literally pray for an answer to how they can solve these problems that they're facing. And the next diet pill or the next diet revolution is not the answer. The answer is in one-on-one coaching, community, education, and tapping into the tools that we have for them. And so it's such a gift. And so as you are kind of thinking through your people, connect with Al. Maybe there's someone in your life that you're like, I don't even know how to invite them or even talk to them about it. Talk to Al about it. Maybe he'll have some ideas of how to connect them with him. So with that, this kind of concludes our, presentation piece of this, but I would love if any of you have questions, either for Al about his journey or for me about how the program works and who this